Dia Mirza is with us. I request Ms. Dia Mirza to please come to the stage and grace the dais.
She's coming in a minute from this side. 1 minute.
Ms. Dia Mirza, as you all know, she needs no introduction. She's a well-known public figure, a woman of multiple talents. She's also an ambassador for the Sanctuary Asia's Tiger Conservation Program, founder member of Wildlife Trust of India's Club Nature, and the face of many pivotal environmental campaigns, including NDTV's Greenathon and Save the Tigers. Organizations such as Genesis Foundation, PETA, the Cancer Patients Association, ADAPT, and the Concern India Foundation have greatly benefited from her close association with them. It's apt to say then that Dia is an extremely socially conscious and responsible actor, using the reach of her celebrity to make a real difference to causes that need championing in India and around the world. We are very proud to have you here today, ma'am.
You know that government organization, non-government organization, we can achieve. NGO, non-government organization, so far I am concerned, I give more important. Just you, NGO means Gair Sarkari organization. If we use the word Gair means asarkari, then having the some impact, and Sarkari organization having no impact, even though working. I am also a government officer. serving in the government of India, state government 30 to 30 years. I know. So that is NGOs if working in the field, they can give some impact, something can come, some result they can give some result, a concrete result. So that is why Save the Children, how difficulty they face collecting the fund and other. I know very well working with the OAS department of the government of India, state government. So that is why whatever they have achieved, they are doing with the MSCPCR very closely. They are associated. So I know their real work. So far Dr. Hegde work is concerned, that is Arman. Arman or organization is Arman, ARMAN. Yeah, MMAN. What is the meaning of ARMAN? Advancing reduction in mortality. Yeah. But Arman is very good. Yeah, no? Arman. That is, we have some Arman, we have some under just something, we are going to do something. Yeah, no? So for concern of my organization, this now I am serving Child Right Commission. Commission working as a watchdog, having the three powers: executive power, legislative power in nutshell, just in brief, and judicial power. But majority of the commission does not know about their power. Judicial power they can use. Even though executive power, they hire monitoring power to all the schemes, all the commission I am talking. Legislative power can make the recommendation in order to frame the law, and recommendation so far in each and every field. If suppose that I am working with the Child Right Commission, child right start once mother conceives. That is 0 to 18, once conceived, and even though where seed is put up, that mother also come under the purview of this commission, associated with the child, and up to the age of 18 years. Now between 0 to 18, there are so many steps. First is that now when child conceived, thereafter come out, thereafter start this. Just I am in so far this legal term or government schemes. I am just coming on government scheme. Division of the between the age 0 to 6, 6 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 14, 14 to 16, 16 to 18. Now in 0 to 6 months, on what basis it has been decided? So there are some scientific reason. Lactating mother also, lactating and pregnant mother. All the government scheme, Mr. Sagar described the detail about ICDS. ICDS is a scheme launched by Government of India in 1975. That time in few pocket scheme was, now extended in entire country, covering the 600 districts of the entire country. So a huge organization working with along with health department also, huge organization. So many schemes running, fortified scheme for the lactating mother, pregnant woman, 0 to 6 year age child within the range of 0 to 6 months of age, 6 months to 3 years. Scheme is THR, take home ration. Very good scheme. Another 6 to 3 year to 6 months, 6 years, that is the ready to eat material provided under the scheme. Early childhood care, development and education. See, look only childhood care and development and education also. Early childhood care, development and education that come under the purview of the RT Act also. This education department also involved in this matter. So you see that so many departments are involved, even though educated persons are not in a position to know the name of the department. The scheme is departments. How many departments are involved to take the care of the children, lactating and pregnant mother? in the government. This duty that is NGOs, non-government organization. Second part is that implementation of this scheme. Now my organization, since I was called that you please describe out your organization, I told that this organization is the beginning. I described that our work is multifarious one.
For Save the Children for the next session.
Good afternoon, friends. It's an honor and a privilege to be amongst you this afternoon for not just a roundtable discussion, but I think what will be an afternoon of enlightenment. We've received some very interesting points of view from government and from a private, incredible private organization. I have to confess that very often I am asked, why Save the Children? Why do I, as a celebrity, choose to be an ambassador for causes? And I find the question ridiculous. Because I think as people in the public eye, as people who have the privilege of having access to people's minds, hearts, and homes, it is not just our duty, but our responsibility. And I have to admit that it's been deeply humbling and gratifying to have joined hands and become a part of the family called Save the Children in India. And I'm very proud that I'm their first artist ambassador. There are many causes that need our attention. And sometimes, actually very often, many of us are torn about what cause we must attach ourselves to. A lot of people ask me, why environment and why children? And I always say, because they're deeply connected. Children, because they are our present and our future. Also because I think as adults, we are most responsible, should be most responsible to the needs, the security, the safety, and the future of our children. And also because it is these children who will govern the realities of our future. And what we do to our children today is what we are doing to our future. The environment, because like Sir said just now, that there are many influencing factors in the health and the progress of children in the world. I think the first thing that impacts children is the environment. The quality of the air children breathe, the quality of water that children drink, the quality of food children eat, and then of course everything else follows. Before I continue, I would like to thank Dr. Nimi Dominic, Mr. Vijay Khirsagar, Mr. Annaswamy Vaidesh, and I would also like to thank Dr. A.N. Tripathi and my colleague and friend from STC, Thomas, for not just using this opportunity as a celebration of what Dr. Aparna Hegde has achieved through her initiative of Arman and the establishment of M-Mitra and the amazing work that M-Mitra has been able to achieve. But I would also like to thank them because I think today we are drawing attention to some very, very critical areas of children's rights and children's issues. But I think the wonderful thing about this afternoon is that all of us are going to go away a little better aware and deeply motivated and positive about the impact an individual voice can make, an individual decision can make. And that's really what I want to focus on in this talk today. At Save the Children, we are constantly working and focusing on improving the rights of children, whether it is children in street situations, children who are dealing with malnourishment, children who are dealing with child trafficking, just the problems are many and they're terrifying. But I think what empowers even us at Save the Children, the people who are doing the statistics, who are formulating the reports, who are presenting government and people opportunities to make a difference through the knowledge that we provide them with, is the fact that individuals like Dr. Aparna Hegde are a reflection of initiative. People who are invested in well-being that goes beyond themselves and their own immediate life. People who have empathy, who are moved and troubled and angered by what they see around themselves. And that, combined with their knowledge and their professional experience, to go about finding solutions and impacting change. That is a celebration. And for all of us at Save the Children, it means a lot. You are really the wind beneath our wings. You empower all of us at Save the Children, because you encourage us with the knowledge that when people become aware and when they combine their awareness with empathy, they can make a big difference. GSK, thank you so much for joining forces with Save the Children. I'm sure that we will do a lot of good work together. I don't want to keep you very long. You've had a long morning. You've heard such wonderful thoughts from everybody on the dais today. I just want to leave you with one thought, and in the hope that it's a thought that's not just limited to this afternoon, but expands to our actions and our choices well beyond this afternoon. I'm a big believer that with imagination and with technology and initiative, each one of us has a voice that can and will impact change. It is our duty to make a difference in the lives of children. And we must make it our moral responsibility to improve the lives of the children. Start with one child. I know you can do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Your words really reflected the beautiful human being that you are.
Joy, but is one that can extend itself beyond that entertainment and actually seek to make a difference in society.
Thank you, ma'am. Second question is, what made you take the leap of faith from the industry of glamour to social service?
I am still invested in the entertainment industry just as much as I am invested in social building and community service. I think they're both deeply intertwined. They're not independent entities, because I think even as a film producer, I chose to generate and create content that can help impact change, that can bring awareness, that can educate people. And it doesn't have to be a cause-driven film. It can be a film that drives many causes home.
So even my question is for Diya ma'am. Somehow we have managed to keep these two worlds interlinked. So what's the secret behind that?
Purpose. I think when you have a clearly defined purpose about what you want to do with your life, and I think I've identified my purpose as a communicator. I find that the coexistence of the many roles that I, carry out in life just integrate beautifully. They just, it's organic, it happens.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any plans of venturing back to Bollywood?
I didn't go anywhere. I'm a film producer now. I direct stuff as well. I'm acting also in a movie this year. I did take a small break from being in front of the camera, but I was still in front of the camera, may not be in films, but was doing many other things that brought me right in front of the camera. I will be seen in the Dutt biopic early next year. I'm very excited about that film, and I'm sure before the year ends, I would have done a few more acting jobs, so your answer will be well satisfied.
Fans of your popular film, Rehna Hai Tere Dil Mein, are eagerly waiting for a sequel. Your thoughts?
Rehna Hai Tere Dil Mein has turned out to be one of the most, I think, in every actor's career, there's that one film that resonates, incredible amount of love. And I think Rehna Hai Tere Dil Mein has done that for both Madhavan and me. And we are really humbled by the love that we continue to get for it. And I'm pretty certain that before we, get really old, we will definitely do a sequel. Or maybe sometime when we are very old, we will do a sequel. Because I don't believe we make enough love stories about older people. And they have every right to love, so you never know. But it's an exciting and an interesting thought. And I must admit that it's not one that we think of. It's something that we do think of as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for these amazing people here on this dais?
Hi ma'am, my question is for Dr. Aparna Hegde actually. So ma'am, being a public health professional, I've always tried to dabble about how important IEC is and the importance of convincing it to the authorities, both government, non-governmental, as well as the government authorities. That why IEC, I mean, it sounds like something simple, just stick posters up the wall or on a bus, and that's it, that's the work done. But how important it is to go to the community and do IEC on a mass scale, but at the grassroots level. So I'd really like to appreciate your thoughts on that.
It's extremely important. I mean, that's the reason one of the major programs of Urban is Mitra, and it's recognized. Right? If you look at the reasons mothers and children die, 3 delays responsible for that. First delay is in the community because they don't have access to information. If you look at numbers, most of the reasons for mortality, I mean, a huge percentage would be contributed by the fact that they do not have information about what to do, where to go, and what is the reason for mortality or morbidity and what care they should take. And IEC, I mean, for me, technology became a source of helping IEC, right? Mitra is an IEC program, right? Information, education, and communication, right? That's what IEC stands for. And what the only problem with the grassroots traditional models is that, they become really resource intensive. It's very difficult to go and knock on a door as frequently as women require information. And so technology really became a great source to be able to reach across a woman twice a week, literally, with information she needs at that particular point in time, right? And I'm extremely happy that, he has Mitra on his mobile phone, and the kind of, because it's very important to also understand that IEC not just about, medications to take or this care to take or that care to take. It's also about the fact that, how the child is growing inside, education, exactly, all that she needs to know to ensure that the child gets a very good life going forward, So,
can I just add to that? I think one of the very interesting things that we recognized this afternoon was that, yes, there are many government programs that exist, but not enough people know about it, and I think that's the gap. And I appreciate the fact that the government counts on non-government organizations to spread the word about their programs, but it will be incredible and commendable if the existing programs find a way of reaching the grassroots and the communities, because we all know that if more people knew about the government programs that are in existence, we would be saving a lot more lives and improving the lives of a lot more people. So the problem is rooted in our ignorance, and we need to find ways to root out that ignorance. And like I said, technology, imagination, innovation combined with the power of using multimedia and bringing that message across to the people is going to be a significant part of improving the lives of children and women and healthcare in India.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts here, and congratulations once again. You've already shared with us sort of anecdotes of the great impact that the program is creating in the communities. I'd just like to understand more into what are the plans for a more sustainable and a long-term impact, the behavioral change messages that you are sending across to women, because a lot of time the community is a bit resistant to change. So have you come across any challenges that are sort of hindering people from bringing about those changes?
Huge, yeah. So challenges at the technology level, government level, and individual level, right? So individually, what happens is that it's a huge myth in India that you should not reveal about pregnancy in the first 3 months. I mean, women come for antenatal care only in the 7th month. That's, and that's too late. 70% of women in Mumbai are anemic. Right, so you've lost them, and if you want to save your child, you need to have a well-informed mother, a woman who takes care of herself, and not just a pregnant woman. You have to start in adolescence. Anemic adolescent ends up being an anemic mother who ends up in complications, leading to a child who doesn't have even a start to life that is horrific sometimes, right? So honestly, the biggest challenge for us when we started Amitra also was the idea of how to get a woman to reveal the fact that she's pregnant, in the first 3 months. But I'm very happy to tell you that our experience has been that initially, though we were enrolling women later in pregnancy, even in the field, because the program is creating so much impact and they can see themselves, they've been recommending to their friends. Now it's the second generation of women in the Mumbai slums getting Amitra, and they're calling up. Women are recommending other women. They're becoming brand ambassador for Amitra. They're the ones becoming Sakis enrolling. So there's a network being created, and we are hoping that that really spreads. So this year we're starting to see the change. More and more women in the first trimester are enrolling, and that's, I think, is a huge important, really important for behavioral change. Second very important problem we have is technology level. So we would like to really, since we have government officials here, we face an issue. These are women who do not, they have a, there's a do not disturb kind of, thing on the SIM card. Right, and they buy used SIM cards that have do not disturb along with it. So it's very hard to send calls to these women, and we're trying to kind of knock on the doors of TRAI. We would really like government's help because we've reached 1 million enrollments. We want to ensure that something like DND doesn't come in the way of women getting those, the information that we require. Because DND has to be taken off by the telecom authority, Yeah. Yeah, so that's one technology issue, and we would love it to be a government program. You said scale and sustainability, right? We would like to collaborate with government to kind of take it across India. We've proven it to be a very effective urban core program. I hope that it goes across India with government support. Yeah.
I have a question for Vaidesh, sir. So my question is, Goal 2017 of SDGs talks about the power of collaboration. I'd like to know, sir, what are your thoughts on partnership amongst various stakeholders?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Even in my presentation, I said that collaboration is the essence of solving problem of healthcare in India, and particularly so in healthcare or in emerging markets, because the healthcare system in many developed countries are well structured, whereas in a country like India, it's evolving. So you can't expect government to solve the entire problem. See, 5 P's of healthcare is a payer, provider, patient, physicians, and playmakers, right? Now, if all of them don't work together, you won't be able to provide the kind of stuff that she is talking about. So collaboration is the essence of solving problems and creating innovation. And we have seen this in many occasions. Just this occasion, the one which we are talking about, we have done this in the area of infant mortality. We are working on neonatal death. How do we prevent neonatal death? The other one is creating health insurance. Health insurance in this country is a very important thing. Many people don't have health insurance. And one episode of health, they go bankrupt. So how do we work as a system, not just only leaving it to government to manage this process? So we have various programs in place, just not only us, even as an industry. So it's a great question. I think we should encourage more of collaboration and partnership.
Thank you, sir.
I guess that's the end of question answer session. Now let's break for lunch. I invite all the dignitaries on the dais as well as all our participants of this meeting to please proceed for lunch. Thank you so much.
Save the Children is an incredible organization that has made great strides in bringing awareness and actively pursuing solutions connected to children's rights issues and children's problems across the globe. I'm really privileged to be Save the Children's first artist ambassador in India, and I'm very encouraged by the initiative that they show and the work that they do in improving the lives of children. Earlier this year we launched a SOP, a standard operation program to help children in street situations. It's like a guideline to not just government but even private organizations and people who belong to civil society. So if you want to make a difference in the life of a child who is living in street situations or what we call a street child, you can actually refer to that standard operation procedure and learn from it and do things that will help the child and benefit the child. Yesterday was International Children's Day, and we launched another new document that will be shared with governments across the country. It's called Stolen Childhood. It's an index report that helps governments understand what is the status of children in not just India but across the world. And it's really, really sad to see that India ranks 117 out of 172 countries, which means that the happiness index of children in India is very, very low. And happiness is not contributed just by material access or things that they need, but it starts from food, shelter, security, access to education, access to playgrounds, to be able to enjoy the full beauty of what childhood should be. And today's program has been very, very encouraging for me because I got to meet an amazing lady called Dr. Aparna Hegde, who has, who instituted a program called Arman, and she's actually launched something called M-Mitra, which is an app. It's actually a service provided to women in marginalized society to help them through prenatal and postnatal care for children. So जब वो प्रेग्नेंट होती है तब से लेके जब तक उनका बच्चा होता है पहले 4 साल तक उनको एक गाइडेंस मिलती है थ्रू अ वॉइस मैसेज रेगुलरली, जो तो उनके साथ कोई उनको अवेयरनेस देने के लिए, उनको शिक्षा देने के लिए और उनका साथी बनने के लिए एक टेक्नोलॉजी काम में आया है और बहुत बहुत फ़र्क पड़ा है महिलाओं के जीवन में इस ऐप से। सो और उनको हेल्थ इनोवेशन अवार्ड में पूरे दुनिया में जो हेल्थ इनोवेशन अवार्ड होता है वो 4 लोगों को मिलता है और 4 लोगों में से डॉक्टर अपर्णा हेगड़े एक हैं जिनको ये अवार्ड मिला है। सो आई एम वेरी हैप्पी एंड इंस्पायर्ड क्योंकि आई थिंक पीपल लाइक डॉक्टर अपर्णा हेगड़े टेल अस दैट you don't have to be a part of an organization or a part of government to impact change. You can be a citizen who's aware, who's empathetic, and you could be a professional in any field and choose to make a difference. It starts from initiative, and she's made such a big difference, and I'm so proud of her.
So being an ambassador, what sort of responsibility you're feeling right now, and what sort of initiative you personally will do for?
I am, as an ambassador, I'm a communicator. I use the access that I have to people to communicate the various programs that Save the Children is running, to communicate the startling statistics that we study, investigate and have to report to people. But also more than anything else, I'm a part of celebrating the success stories that we have through Save the Children.
Being an Indian citizen, what message you going to give to our Indian cricketer team? The match is going to come on 4th July. क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे मैं इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम को जो 4th जुलाई का या पाकिस्तान का मैच जून?
I'd like to wish our Indian team all the very best. Play well and have fun.
जैसे अभी आपने डेस्क पे कहा कि one lady was asked you about the Bollywood projects, तो आपने कहा एक पिक्चर है 2018 में इज वेरी स्पेशल टू यू, संजय दत्त बायोपिक, उनकी रिलीज डेट फिक्स हो गई है 30 मार्च 2018, तो how much you excited?
I'm very excited that the date for that biopic has been released and confirmed, and I was hoping it would release this year. We actually all were, but it's good to know that we have a firm date and that biopic will be releasing in March. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.